back to Stagey Bookish. My name is Livia. How are you all? It's a very stormy night here in the UK, as you can tell by the state of my hair that I had straightened before I went out this morning, but then it got wet and it kind of goes down. So I apologise for my appearance. I'm wearing the pair of glasses. What do you think? Welcome back to Stagey Bookish. Thank you firstly for all the love on all of the kind of Christmas New Year videos I posted. I really appreciate it. I know I keep saying it, but I do. So thank you for all the comments and views on those. Some fantastic comments and really good, particularly reading goals 2020. Before we get into today's video, I have to share with you a very special moment I had this morning. So I am filming this on the evening of Monday the 13th of January, and when I got up this morning and it was dark and it was miserable and I was sad and I didn't want to go to work this morning, oh, the most wonderful thing happened. You've heard, if you've watched my channel, you'll know who I'm talking about when I say Garen, who is the creator over at Goblet of Fiction, and he's the most wonderful man and the most funny guy and the sweetest, kindest man I've ever kind of witnessed on film in my life, decided he was going to not only comment on one of my videos but then share the link to my channel with like all of his followers and say that I'm a joy and I have such good energy, and it really made my day and made me so happy. So Garen, if you watch this, I love you, I adore you. Please, I'll link Garen's channel below. Please go and watch this. And in a way, Garen doing that because he also commented that it's so wonderful to see so many theatre people on BookTube. There's a reason why I'm called Stagey Bookish. That is why today's video, it's going to be a bit more of the stagey side of me. Today's video is looking at the 5 musicals I want to see in 2020. Yes. Over the past couple of years, my love of theatre has really had to be kind of put to the side due to kind of life and no money and adulting and not being able to get there as much as I would like to. And I want to address that this year, really do, because there is something about the magic of live theatre that you just don't get anywhere else. And so that's what I'm hoping to do. So this is almost, is it holding myself accountable? I don't know. But I definitely wanted to, hopefully, and these are based on shows that either are out currently or I know are coming. I'm just desperate to see these shows. So let's see what my top 5 shows are for this year in the magic of Theatreland. Show number 1 that I am desperate to see this year may come as a surprise to people who know me because it's a soundtrack I've had for a while and it's a soundtrack I absolutely adore. So the fact that I haven't seen it yet may come as a surprise, and that is the amazing Come From Away. This has been in London came last year, so I think it's coming up on its year anniversary here in London after being an absolute smash and sellout on Broadway. And I'm just obsessed with the soundtrack to this show. What I love about this is the story that it tells. So this is based on real life events that on the day of the September 11th terror attacks in 2001, obviously with the planes crashing into the Twin Towers, there was a lot of planes in the air that were due to fly into New York, over New York, around New York, that had to be stopped. And this tells a story of a little village, tiny place on the island of Newfoundland, a little town called Gander, and this was where all of a sudden, from a very few number of people where, you know, everybody knows everybody and, you know, they don't really see much of the outside world, they heard across the tannoys and their radios about what had happened, and all of a sudden all of these planes got diverted to Gander, and this kind of little town's population probably quadrupled or whatever the one up from that is. And it's the story of not only the people of Gander finding out about what had happened, but also the kind of people who were kind of sent there and not knowing why, and kind of how they had to get into this town, how this small town had to be so welcoming to so many and pulling together. And I just absolutely love the message it sends. The music is very kind of, I would say it's more kind of folk inspired. It's really acoustic. It's an on-stage band, I believe, throughout the whole show. And it just is the most beautiful story. The soundtrack absolutely makes me sob. And I'm ready for that. I know the UK cast are having a bit of a cast change. I think it's towards the start of February, where we've got some new cast members coming in, but literally the talent on show on that stage is ridiculous. So I'm really excited at some point this year, I hope, to see this amazing musical. Number 2 musical on this list, and this is no particular order, is probably the one similar to Come From Away that I am so obsessed about, and I know the soundtrack word for word, and it's just a story that I can relate to on so many levels. It opened here in the UK last October, and that is Dear Evan Hansen. This was made most famous from its Broadway run with the icon that is Ben Platt, who won a Tony Award for his role in the title role of Evan Hansen. Dear Evan Hansen focuses around our main character Evan, who has been going through lots of mental health problems, issues, and kind of you know something's wrong at the start, but you don't necessarily know what it's about, so I apologise if that's a big spoiler. But kind of the main crux of the story is that he gets inadvertently involved in the creation of a campaign in school to mourn the loss of a quote-unquote off-the-rails student, and he ends up being involved as if he was this student's best friend. And the family get him involved, you know, he fakes letters and he does all these things because he essentially just wants a place to belong. And that's just like so beautiful to me. And, you know, his parents and the family. It's only a small cast. I think there's only about a cast of 8 at most. And I just know everyone who I know who's been to see it has just literally gone to me, I sobbed. And I'm like, I'm so ready for my heart to be broken. I really am. Gentleman playing Evan Hansen here in London is a gentleman called Sam Tutty. This is his first kind of major West End role. He's done some things out of drama college, training college. He did a production of Once on This Island last summer, which is where I first became of him. Apparently he is phenomenal. But this is another one. I'd probably say out of every single thing on this list, I think probably Dear Evan Hansen, if you asked me to put it, would probably be my biggest priority, just because I'm ready to just be absolutely emotionally wrecked by it. And, you know, is that such a bad thing all the time? Number 3 on this list is a production that's just recently started touring the UK, but as with the 2 predecessors on this list, it's a show that actually got its fame on Broadway, had an astonishing run in the West End where I absolutely fell in love with it. This, to this day, is one of my all-time favourite, probably one of my all-time favourite musicals. If you kind of count Phantom of the Opera and Les Mis as a joint first, it's like my 3rd favourite musical of all time. And before Stagey Bookish became a YouTube channel, it was a blog, and I remember, you know, reviewing it so many times for my blog when I went to see it, its original London run. And one of the lines I use that I think just sums it up so perfectly is, it's simply beautiful because it's beautifully simple. And that is how you know a show is good. That is Once the musical. Like I said, it's just recently gone on a brand new UK tour. This is the first kind of incarnation we've had since the show finished in London, and it shouldn't have finished in London because it was so special and so unique. And that could be a whole nother rant for a whole other video. Ooh, sorry, I kicked the tripod there. Hi. The simple story of Once is the whole kind of premise of it is it's set in Dublin, Ireland. At the start of the show, you have our male lead and our female lead, who are simply known as Guy and Girl, who come across each other's paths when, you know, Guy is very lost. He's lost a lot of purpose in life. He doesn't know where he's going. Girl is kind of an immigrant, I believe. I want to say she's Polish, and she's come to Dublin to kind of make the best life for her and her family. And they cross paths one day, and it's the idea of complete and utter love at first sight, which is the most stunning thing. It is love at first sight, but then it's also the element of she, you know, has commitments to her family. He, you know, doesn't want to leave his dad. There's a whole other cast of characters that kind of come in and back and forth on this. But it is to this day one of the most special experiences I've ever had in the theatre. But in the London run, I know they're not doing this on tour, but in the London run, it's actually was in the theatre that Come From Away is now in. But in the London run, you could go up on the stage before the show started, because there was an on-stage bar, and then there would, you know, you could just mingle and take pictures, but then the cast come out to kind of do a pre-show and play some songs. Oh, it was just so, oh, I've still got the tumblers with once down the side. I've got a once keyring on my keys. I just adore this show, and I'm so pleased to hear after its initial kind of opening section run, this new tour's getting 5 stars as well, and I'm just like, I'm going to go back and it's going to wreck me, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it. Does this not seem to be a theme on this list? Shows that are going to emotionally wreck my heart. Do you know what? I don't care. My heart is so ready to see this show again. If you've never heard the soundtrack to this, please go and look at it. Once started life as a film before it came a musical, so please look that up as well. But it just really is the most magical of things, and I urge you to go and see it while it's out on its UK tour, if you are able to do so. Coming in at number 4 on this list, not in any particular order, but number 4 on this list is something that is so different to Once I couldn't have got further in the other direction. And that, again, has recently opened in London at the Shaftesbury Theatre, and that is And Juliet. This, I had no idea this was coming. I knew, you know, it was due to have already in Manchester, and I knew it was going to be old pop song. It was like a jukebox musical inspired by old pop songs. But little did I know what impact this was going to have. So, show story. Essentially, what would happen is, if you know the story of Romeo and Juliet, which I'm assuming you all do, what would have happened if actually, once Romeo had poisoned himself, what if Juliet hadn't stabbed herself and actually went on just to live her own fierce life out in the world, and like travelling to Paris and just having a good time with her friends, and love and drama and trials and tribulations and just everything like that. So it's that kind of what if Juliet had never stabbed herself. And it on paper, to me, it's something that I didn't think would work, but literally all the reviews I've heard have said it's an absolutely unbelievable show, and the cast are absolutely slaying it in the West End, and I'm just so desperate to listen to go and see it. The soundtrack, I talked about it being a jukebox musical. It is the songs of Swedish pop producer Max Martin. Now, to that name, you might not recognise it, and I certainly didn't, but when you start listing the songs that he wrote and the songs that are featured in this show, 95% of this show are songs that made up my childhood and my teenage years. Baby One More Time by Britney Spears. Pretty much the entire Backstreet Boys back catalogue. You know we stand Backstreet Boys on this channel. Ariana Grande. Oh God, I'm trying to think. Ariana Grande, Adam Lambert. There is so many. But literally any kind of classic pop song. Oh, The Weeknd, Can't Feel My Face. It's just like NSYNC and Justin Timberlake, and it's just, the tracks are just so clever and so brilliant. But it's all about this kind of badass girl, not taking no crap from no man, getting on my pedestal here, not taking any crap from no man, not being ruled by her parents, not being ruled by what society expects of her. She's gonna do her own damn thing. And it's amazing. Miriam Teague Lee is playing Juliet in London at the moment with Grace Muat, who actually has a slight link to the final show I'm going to mention, as her alternate. But the cast is ridiculous. And it's been a Miriam Teague Lee star maker. She was amazing as it is, but this platform she's been given, it's just amazing. And I'm just desperate to see it for the combination of the Shakespeare, because I'm an ex-English teacher. You know I love me some Shakespeare. I cannot speak. You know I love me some Shakespeare. But also the kind of songs of my teen years. It's another soundtrack that after multiple listens, I know verbatim. I can tell you the entire soundtrack, even though I just couldn't remember the songs. But hey-ho, that is one that I think potentially has a big future, particularly with the popularity of Max Martin's songs. Is it something that could end up on Broadway? I think it could at some point. Again, just purely for the popularity of the songs. But yes, this is definitely on the list. This is one I'm expecting to feature quite a lot at... oh my God, I've had a mind blank. The Olivier Awards. Yeah, British equivalent of the Tony Awards. God, that's really bad that I forgot that. It's been a long day. But I'm really interested to see this and expecting this to feature. So yes, check out And Juliet. Soundtrack is on Spotify, so go and check it out. The final video on this list, number 5, actually kind of is the wrong number for it, but it may, again, another surprise that I haven't seen this yet, despite knowing the soundtrack is one of my favourite musical theatre albums ever. And like I said, 5 is not the right number for it, because I think it's about time, I need to get on this, I need to jump on this, it is about time that I joined the Queendom. Yes, I want to see 6. That's what I said, 5, 6. I have not seen 6 yet, and I am devastated that I have not seen this thing. No, I have seen enough on social media about mega 6s. If you know, you know. So I get the energy and I get the vibe, but I am so desperate to see it in person. It's not even funny. If you don't know what 6 is, number one, what rock have you been living under? It is one of the biggest kind of British grown new musical sensations of the past few years, where it's kind of started at workshops. It went to Edinburgh Fringe. It did a limited run down in London at the Arts Theatre, which is a tiny theatre, but it's really lovely. It went back to Edinburgh. It's now done like another massive run in London that just keeps going and going and going. They were nominated for Olivier Awards. It's going to be on Broadway. I think it opens on Broadway, so it's going to Australia. I think there's plans to do it in China and Japan and places. It literally is the biggest thing. And it's all about Henry VIII. Essentially, the story for this is you have the six dead wives of former British King Henry VIII. So literally from the song, divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived. And essentially it's these 6 girls, 6 ladies getting together to try and decide who got the worst outcome from living with Henry and being married to Henry. So they have this kind of competition. They think, oh, we're going to get together in a girl group, but they decide to have a competition for who's the lead singer. And they go, well, whoever had it worst can be the lead singer. And they then go through their own individual stories. You know, there is a lot of this which is speculative, so do not expect verbatim hardcore evidence history base. No, this is very tongue-in-cheek, it's very current, it's very relevant, it's very light-hearted, it's very fun, but it's another one which seems to be another theme on this list about just girl power. The power of friendship, the power of your sisters, the power of the girls, the power of sticking together, and the power of just being awesome, because it's just like, Six still is running in London with its second kind of full cast. I have seen some of the London casting things before, so I really would like to see the London cast, but also it's going on tour this year, so actually I'm getting it near me, and that's going to be July, I think, just when I broke up for the summer from work. So happy holidays to me. So if I can't get to London before, I'm definitely going to look at it for the tour, because I'm just absolutely desperate to see it. This queen needs to pick up her crown. It is about time. So there you have it. These are the 5 musicals that I'm desperate to see in 2020. Do not get me wrong, there are lots more musicals that I want to see in 2020. Musicals, plays, all kinds of things. But this is just 5 of them. If I was doing honourable mentions, I'd talk about my 2 all-time favourites, which are Phantom of the Opera and Les Miserables. Les Miserables in London has just overgone a bit of a design rehaul where they've taken out, and again, this makes sense if you've seen it, they've taken out the Revolve from the original production and kind of using what has been the tour production, and I believe the version that was on Broadway is now the London version, so I'm really interested to see that and see how it changes up. I always like to see Phantom because Phantom's my fave, and I'd die for Phantom of the Opera, to be fair. So I will always go and see Phantom. I will always go and see Les Mis if I'm physically able to do so. Both of them are coming on tour as well, so I might be doing double duty with that. Everybody's talking about James coming on tour. If you don't know that story, please look that up, because that's another British musical that's just from in here. That's in London. That's on tour. There's so many things going on. Waitress is still going to be here. Sarah Bareilles, Gavin Creel. Really interested in that. There's just so much. We're getting Frozen, people. Late 2020, we're getting Frozen. Kind of want to see Frozen. Oh, I haven't seen Mary Poppins. It's been a while since I've seen The Lion King. I will just quite happily, if you gave me an unlimited budget, I would go into London and I would just work around every single theatre and just go and see everything, and it would be the best time I've ever had in my life, really. And I'm just absolutely here for it, and everything it stands for and everything it involves. This is the thing, my bookish side, we all know, is strong and good. I need to reinvigorate my stagey side this year for 2020. Are you a theatre goer? Are you a theatre buff? What shows are you looking forward to going to see next year? Do you have things booked? Definitely let me know down below. Oh, side note, if you like theatre, I'm going to link this down below. If you are a theatre lover, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen this, and all my links are below. Tangent. One of my dearest friends in the entire world who I love and adore, her name is Kerry Nicholson. She runs the Instagram at Wheelie Stagey. She's in a wheelchair, so Wheelie Stagey, get it? She has recently released, for the first time ever, the Wheelie Stagey podcast. And I literally listened to it, and essentially it's her talking about why she loves theatre and all the shows she goes to see and how amazing it is, and just what she loves about theatre, things she wants to see more of in theatre. She has cerebral palsy, so she talks about access in theatre and disabled access, which is a fascinating thing. But I found she kind of published the first episode when I was on my way home from work one night, and I just literally sat there the whole time from work, headphones in, just being like, I'm so proud of her. So if you like all things Stagey, have a look at her link down below. I'll link to you. It's on Spotify and all good podcast resources. That's not the right word I was looking for, but hey. But please go and check her out. Show her some love. She's also on Instagram at Wheelie Stagey as well. Please go and see her. Show her some love for this podcast. I know her first episode is more the introduction, but I think the second episode was going to be about, she recently went to see Matthew Bourne's The Red Shoes. And I know how desperate she was to see Matthew Bourne. So it's going to be all kinds of things on there, but please check her out as well. As always, YouTube, it is a pleasure to see you. Thank you for listening to me and my Stagey goings on. It is a joy. It is a pleasure. This is Olivia. This has been Stagey Bookish. I will see you amazing folk on my next video. Bye for now.